Hey guys, Kev here, and we have our second half of the Wixco day to get into, okay? So on this video, we have number 14, 15, and 16, the Skort, the Axor, and the Wortex, or Vortex, I'm guessing. Again, they're all in 14C 28N, and we have aluminum carbon fiber blue, and we have G10 blue and PTFE spray painted. Interesting. So again, we're going to go in order number 14 first. And I'm thinking those are the model numbers. So that's why I'm doing it that way, in case you're wondering. This is the Skort, which is a half skirt, half something else, I think. Purple carbon fiber? Let's see. I thought it said blue. Or is that a different one? Black carbon fiber. This is purple, obviously. That looks like... it must be like the faux carbon fiber, like fat carbon stuff. Or maybe it's dark matter red, but for the price points, I doubt it. We're going to find out the price points, I guess. But they've all been around 50, 60 bucks. But, what is this made of? Oh, it was aluminum, right? It said. Yeah, it was aluminum, carbon fiber, steel hardware, steel pivot, aluminum backspacer. We have a flipper tab, same as the last ones. The jimping kind of ends right before the turn, which I'd like a little more, but it does catch pretty well. We have a clip point. What would you consider this, guys? I guess it's a clip point. Harpoon, maybe. It does go down, so maybe it's a drop point. I don't know. Just a weird drop point. Inlays are not flush, but it's on purpose. You know, it's fine. We'll see what the price point is, and then we'll really know. But pretty comfortable in hand. A little bit girthier on this one, as you can see. Does have liners on both sides. It is a liner lock, which is awesome. So now we are 3 out of 4 on the Wixcos that are liner lock. So good for them. Not doing everything in a crossbar lock or a button lock. They've already exceeded my expectations in that regard. Detent is solid. Definitely an acceptable detent. I would like it a little stronger on the flipper, but you do have thumb studs, and yeah, if you go any stronger on those, it might hurt, which is a downside to doing flipper and studs. Those are pretty tight, yeah. Feels really good. Forward finger choil. Feels good in the hand. We have a little bit of rock, but not like... it could just be me flexing that lock bar a little bit. I'm not going to complain about that. PVD on everything. Pretty nice. Again, you got that larger pivot, Best Tech looking hardware there. Definitely got some Fidget in it. What do you guys think of this one? I like it. This is the Skort. The Skort. All right, the next one, number 15, is the Axor. This is the spray painted one. What the heck? PTFE spray painted? Like, I don't even know what that means. Tiffany blue? It's just G10. What the fuck? I'm confused. G10 blue, PTFE spray painted. Is that the blade? Oh, is it that rough finish? Maybe. It's not really that rough, but look at it. That's really nice, actually. It's got that gritty look to it. It's actually kind of smooth, but it's matte. That looks nice. I liked it. Oh, another liner lock? Oh, you know this one's definitely for me. It's got a sheep's foot blade. Look at that. Pretty beautiful right there. It's got the thumb swoop here. You know, we love that. Here's a thumb swoop. Not the same, obviously. The Buzz has ones just like that, but I like a good thumb swoopage. Pretty clear G10. It looks to me like they took JG10 and dyed it, as opposed to buying a blue G10, if that makes sense. Never really seen a blue like this. I like the look of it. I think it's pretty cool. Kind of matches their colors. I think that was the point, which is nice. Wixco blue, could call it. Very cool. You have choil here. Nice little poon spoon. I mean, dude, this knife is feeling pretty dang good. This one was the, not the Wortex, the Axor, or Axor, or whatever you want to call it. Proud liners, thicker handle, you know, but for a budget brand, I mean, you got Fidget factor all up on this biznatch. Look at that, dude. Whoops. I mean, that's fun. Sorry, I can't help it. Standoffs, no backspacer. No reversible clip, unfortunately, on either of these. That's sad. Really want that reversible clip. Clip is the same on all of them, it seems like. This one sits proud with recessed screws. This one is recessed into the G10. So it depends on the material, I think. Let's check out the Vortex, or Vortex. This one has black stonewash and then carbon fiber blue. Ooh. Oh, this is probably going to be the one for me, guys. This actually reminds me of... Let me feel it. Oh, dude, this one's sick. Blue G10. No, carbon fiber, right? They calling this carbon fiber? I thought it said G10. Sorry. Carbon fiber blue, yep. So I think it's faux 80s, or faux Arctic fat carbon, maybe. Black wash, dead centered. Clip is not recessed, it's on top. Don't love that. It is reversible, which is awesome. You have a thumb stud and a hole. And let's see. Why? Why did you do that to yourself? Dude, they were checking every fucking box. I mean, it was like check, 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 check. Hawkbill. I don't mind a hawkbill, guys. I actually kind of like hawkbills, but obviously if you're trying to sell knives, it's not the most popular pick. If this had been a Warney, I was thinking this kind of felt like a budget small boy or tall boy, which is one of our models. I don't have one here because I actually sent both of those to get sharpened. Actually, I do. I have a tall boy somewhere. Hang on. I have an OG, yep. I have an OG dark mode. OG dark mode tall boy here. Forgot I had this. So if you look at the handles, I'm not saying they're the same, okay? I'm just saying it hearkened to it, so I was like, ooh, I was excited. If you look at them, stud, hole, slimmer handle this way, right? You got the kind of swoop right here, and then it comes back up. A little different shape, but they're very similar there. You have that kind of curve, a little more subtle here, a little more action there, right? Different back here, of course, but overall, and then it looks like the blade shapes are going to be similar too. And you pop this one out and you're like, oh yeah, dude, give me that freaking Warney all day, baby. And then you pop this one out and you go, oh, fuck. I'm sorry. I do like it, actually. I just was anticipating something. So this is about the size of the small boy. So if you're wondering what the small boy is going to be like, which is the small version of this, 3-inch, get yourself a Vortex, and then you'll basically know what a small boy will feel like, which is fantastic, by the way. This feels great. So does the small boy. This size in your hand with the stud, it just feels so good. So she said, and then you can obviously get in there and flick it as well. Also what he said. Now in this case, on our knife, if you take this stud out, you have a cutback. So a lot of people ask this question, can you remove the stud? Let me just show you how this works. So there's a T8 there, and you want to screw it up. Let's see if I can do it without a finger bit. Yep. When you remove this, there's a cut in the hole right there. So you can do it, but it looks a little goofy, right? But we want to make sure that thumb stud is not going anywhere, that it's nice and secured in there. By the way, this thing feels sick. I think I kept this one because something was up with the blade. Yeah, like it has like a scar right here and here. It came like that. That's why I kept this one. Very nice though. And you can't find these OG dark mode ones, and they don't really do reruns. So if anybody wants it, $800. I'm just kidding. I don't think it's for sale. The reason I wanted to show you that, obviously I thought they were comparable, so I wanted to show you that part. But I just want to tighten this down real quick so I don't forget later. Should be good. Not going anywhere. Okay. So on ours, that's what happens. This one, it looks like you could remove that stud and just put it wherever you want. So you don't like how snappy that is? You want it to be a little bit easier to open, you know? Or your finger's fatter and you can't get your finger in up here. You know, you need more space. What you do is you take, I think, a T6. And fucking Loctite. Are you kidding me? Did they over Loctite that too? So it's spinning. Let me see if I can get it. But it's feeling pretty Loctited. Don't know why they do that with stuff that they expect you to adjust. One other thing I want to do is check the pivots on these and see how much Loctite they have and see if they learned their lesson on those or if they still haven't caught up to that. Oh, that's, yeah, I gotta be careful there, Kev. Let me do it this way. That's not gonna change anything, is it? But maybe it will. I don't know. I'm an idiot, so try to hold it shut too. God damn, dude. I gotta do the old two-hand trick. This is gonna suck. Man, that was tough, dude. I should have probably just put some heat on it. Still have the soldering iron right there from the last video. But I got it. I just need to get this back in so I can now loosen it. God. Come on. There we go. All right. So what you can do with theirs is, oh, they actually have a little divot too. Look. So this one also makes it obvious. Less so though. I think you could survive with that and not think it looks weird, right? Where on ours, I think it looks a little weird having that cut there. So now, you just have a hole, okay? I thought, I'll be honest, I thought you were going to be able to adjust it and put it wherever you want. But you can only put it in that spot. So that sucks. It looked like one you could slide around, like on the intruder from Tack Knives. But this works. Just got to make sure you get your finger in there. It's sharp enough that it catches. It's a very thin blade. So this is going to be a slicey hoe. Shout out to my boy Knife Dope. Stole his line there. Yeah, that feels good, man. I like the hole only, actually. Can thumb flick it, no problem. Reversible clip, which I like as well. And another liner lock, guys. So the liner locks definitely won this 5-6. Hell yeah. I needed that after yesterday. This is very fidgety. So let's see. Let me put this back on, and then we're going to do a cutting test. So here's your stud. You're going to want to take your barrel, though, and push that through. You can't put it through, obviously, anywhere you want. It's got to go through in this spot. So you want to put that in there, and then take your threaded side and start working that guy in. I usually do it by hand like that, and then take the driver. Make sure I'm not cross-threading. Do as much of this by hand as possible. That's spinning in my finger. Take my finger bit. By the way, you can get this finger bit at skiffworkshop.com. Use the code LeftyEDC for 10% off. They're like 20 bucks, and they're worth every penny, so that you don't do what I did earlier where I had to hold it like this, right? With two drivers. Because if you do it with two drivers, it is so easy to just slip, you know, and then you scratch your knife, you fuck shit up, you hurt yourself. It's so much better to have this tool where you can put it into your fingers like this and keep it secure. So that is the finger bit from Skiff Workshop, and it's magnetic, so you just slide your bit in and out, which is nice. So I always keep a T8 in there, right? You could even take a T8 like this. You have a super long one if you want to, or you have something with like a flag on it now. So you have a lot of options with this finger bit. This one's aluminum. He was making 3D printed ones that were even cheaper. They're like $5. Don't know if he still sells those, but the aluminum ones, again, they're like 20 bucks. I also recommend when you get that you also get the test fit card so you can figure out what bearings you need. Because we're going to also take this apart and see what bearings are in there. And I'll show you how that works. So let's see if we have crazy Loctite. We have that big ass. Oh, did they learn their lesson? Look at that. Wixco. Let's see. Let's see if this one's good. Yep. That one's good. Uh-oh. Now that one's still uber Loctited. So my guess is between number 14, which is this one, and 15, they must have got the message that they were just putting way too much Loctite, because these two are fine, and they have 0 Loctite, which is perfect. I'll put my own in there if I want it. Look at that burr, dude. There's actually a sharp burr on this screw. See that? Right there. Let me get that out of here so I don't end up with it in my finger. Did I get it? I didn't think it was broken off yet, but maybe it came off. Looks like it. Okay. Oh, there it is. There it is, right there. Do I have anything I can... I know it seems odd, but that will end up in my finger and it will hurt like hell. So let me just grab a cloth and knock it into the trash. All right, we are good. Right? Yeah, we're good. All right. Sorry. So we have our pivot. We're going to take out this guy, T8 as well. We have a screw back there, but we got to get to the clip. So unfortunately, we got to take out a T6 now. Got my Divo screwdriver releasing soon. Yeah, I just hate that you have to angle up to get in here. It works, but man, it is close to having you cam out. Actually, I might be camming out. Am I? No. Nope, it was unscrewing. We got lucky. I do not like that. I mean, look at this angle, dude. How do I even get to that one? Dude, seriously? That is terrible. You gotta change your clips, guys. Just put the holes straight. It's when they're bending it is the problem. They're not bending it straight. It's not really the holes. This bend needs to come down more. It doesn't line up well enough, I guess. All right, now we gotta go back to T8. This is something that bugs me. It's a budget knife, but it's 2025. Unless you absolutely need a T6, stop using them. And there was no real reason here. Just, you know, update your clip or something. All right. Scale comes off. Here's your scale. Very thin. Again, like that other one in the last video, I feel like I could snap it in half, but that's why we have a liner, so it's fine. Liner with a washer built into it, essentially. Looks like we have brass standoffs or barrels. Look at that. It's interesting. Are those brass? Yeah. That's cool. All right. We have 5mm 1/16 bearings, which are solid bearings. And I'll show you how I know that. It's going to be 5mm. Here's your pivot, which if it's anything like that other one, no, look at that. Came out. Didn't need a hammer. 5mm goes right in there so you can test your size. And you just want to go to the one that fits the best. It doesn't fit in the 3/16. And obviously the 6mm is too big. It fits perfectly in the 5mm hole. So she said, okay? So that's how you figure out the pivot diameter or whatever, circumference, whatever that is. Then you take the bearing and you need to figure out which balls you have. What thickness of balls you have. So she said so that you can get the right replacements from Skip. So will this fit in the 3/64? I know it's not a 1mm. It will not fit in the 3/64. Here's 1/16, the most common, and you can see it drops in there and falls through. So now we know it's a 5mm 1/16 bearing. The only other measurement that matters would be the overall diameter of the bearing, like the whole, what the hell, why can't I think of it? The cage. So sometimes there's different kinds of bearings with the same 5mm 1/16. It's just that maybe there's one that has 2 rows of bearings and it's wider, right? Now, I know that this is going to be the single row 12 ball bearings, which I happen to have, I think, a bag of right here. So here they are, 5mm 1/16, 12 ball count, 0.370 overall diameter. So you would just take your bearings. You could compare them if you want. They're obviously extremely similar. And you can test it. Pops right on there. Right? Does it fit into the pocket? The washer? Yes, it fits. Okay. So now I can put the knife back together. I want to have that barrel, the D-shaped part, the flat part down. Like that. And then you would put your bearing on, your blade on, and your other bearing. You can see it all goes together perfectly fine. You can then put your liner on. Do I really want to put $13 bearings in here? No, I'm not going to do that because I'm passing these around. But I just wanted to show you what would fit in there. This is the most common bearing size. So when in doubt, just get these. But get the test fit card. It'll be the best 20 bucks you spent if you like swapping bearings on your knives. If you want to know why swapping bearings is awesome, check out my videos on skiff bearings. Just go to the playlist or search why skiff bearings. You'll get my videos, trust me. So while I'm here, I'm going to grab some carbon honey. This is oil that I like, pivot oil. This is thick oil I like for detents, and this is the thinner oil that I like for bearings. The medium is good too, but I usually just use the thin because why not? So I'm just going to put a little on bearings. These Teflon cages, these white Teflon ones or plastic ones, if you see black ones, whatever, they actually can run dry. So you don't need lube if you don't want, but I always like lube. Nothing worse than some chafing, know what I'm saying? Here's our backspacer, piece of aluminum there. Sticks out a little bit. We're going to take our liner. I like to clean the lock bar, make sure there's no gunk on there or anything, and the detent ball and everything, just so we don't have shit. Then I use my heavy lube. You can use the same one if you just want to buy one, if you don't want to spend the money. I get it. I always put the thick right there by the detent hole. If you have the time or you care, you could clean out the detent hole too. This one's very small, so you would need one of these Q-tips. These are from Amazon. It's La Mier brand, but there's all different ones you can get, different companies. The super fine 1.5 millimeters are pretty useless, but they do work for this, where you have an absolutely tiny detent hole. It will get in there, where the larger 2.5 one will not. But I usually do that just to clean it out a little bit. If you get some oil in the bearings, whatever, it doesn't matter. As long as you don't get a bunch on here so that you get lock stick, you're good. So now we have the stop pin and we need to line it up and then also line up this D shape. So get that on, perfect. Pop it on and okay. Looks like it's gonna be easy. So just pop it on and then hold it. Take your scale, slide it down while you're putting pressure down. Like so. It popped up, so I'm actually going to let go and just do it like this. There we go. Keep that pressure down. Take your pivot. I use my thumb or my index finger or both and start threading it if I can. Get it threading because why not? Save yourself some time using your driver. So got that tightened down. Take that screw and this screw. You want the ones that have the button head type screws. They're a little thicker. And it's a giveaway because they're T8s. Drop that in there for the body screws. Take your T8. Spin that tight. Spin that tight enough. These are all tight enough now. Shut it. Tighten my pivot a little bit. Make sure we're looking pretty centered, which we are. I'm going to tighten these down now. They are on a barrel, so they might want to spin, so just check both sides. Make sure they're tight. They are. Now I can put the clip in. I'm going to leave it on the right side because I'm going to pass this knife around. But first I'm going to do an action check, make sure everything's good. Do I have detent lash? No. I can pull it out a little bit, but that's because the detent's actually good. You'll hear it click. Hear that? I'll put it up to my mic. That's actually the detent ball popping out of the hole. That's excellent. That sounds fantastic. We had a little bit of stick there, so I mean, look at that action, damn. A little bit of play, so I gotta fuck with the pivot. I'm getting a little bit of stick. It's probably because of the oil. I probably got it on the lock bar because it did not have lock stick before, so that's how you know you did something. It's not the knife's fault. Don't start bitching about the knife. Let me put the clip on and then I'm going to fix that. I'll show you how to do that too if you want. These are they both the same length? Looks like in this. I'll put this one that looks a little longer. T6. Put that one on the top. Get that going. Take our bottom one. Yeah, this one's a little longer than the last knife I did. So it should just go in. Shouldn't be a problem. Yeah. Make sure I'm not. There we go. Tighten this one. Really don't love how you have to angle that, but I'm just going to shut up about it now. Okay. All right. So now everything's together. I need to tighten this a little bit more, I think, right? Yep, and loosened up. That feels good. No play. I gotta adjust it a little bit. It is smooth though. So what I wanna do is take another Q-tip. I like these. These are the 2.5 millimeter ones. 2.5 purple. They come in orange, purple, whatever. And then I take alcohol, or get a spray bottle like this from Walgreens or wherever, and then I just keep refilling it with big bottles. Put alcohol all over it. Then get that alcohol all over the blade tang where it locks up. Flick it open, and you're letting that now transfer to the lock bar where that oil was. Now I also notice, just showing you guys what I do, I nerd out sometimes. There is a gap here from the top of this liner, lock bar, to this cutout. There's a gap. So I can fit my Q-tip in here. So what I'm going to do is disengage it and then shove my Q-tip in along the top of the lock face. And it's not going to fit. So I'm going to use one of those little ones. See, that's why it's good to have these, even though they're rarely useful. These little 1 millimeter ones. Sorry. I'm just going to keep it zoomed in. Get alcohol all over that thing. And then, here we go. Push it over and then slide in there. See? So now I can get that alcohol all across that lock face and clean it at the same time. Should get the oil off of there. And this may, try not to lose your cotton. This may need to be repeated. Like you might clean it like this and that carbon fiber is nice. And then like a day later, it might happen again because the oil is just getting back on there. And then it's up to you if you want to take the knife apart, clean up the oil that's getting on there, and then just put a tiny bit. You know, I put too much around the detent is basically what happened. Or you could do what I'm doing and just triage it as you go. But it's not the knife. There's nothing wrong with the knife. It actually feels really good now. I think I got it all cleaned up. Now I'm going to adjust the pivot back a little bit. Now we have no play, no rock, and it's swinging. Needs a little encouragement, but then it swings. So that's going to break in. So what I'm going to do, just because I'm going to pass this around, I want to make sure it doesn't come loose. I want to make sure it feels the way it did when I got it. I'm going to Loctite this because it required some adjusting, and I don't trust that if I super glue it, that I'll get it where I want it quickly, because you don't have time to adjust. But first thing you're going to do is clean the shit out of the pivot, because there's always black shit all over the pivot. Then you want to take a bit smaller than the one you use for the pivot, so T6, put an alcohol covered cloth over the pivot, drive that into the inside of the barrel where the threads are. You'll see what comes out of here, probably a bunch of shit. You see all that? That is potentially oil, which is very bad for Loctite, and is the reason why sometimes your Loctite doesn't cure and you wonder what the fuck's happening. It's because you had oil in your pivot and you gotta get it all out. Even though I'm using oil tolerant Loctite, it doesn't always work. So then I'm going to take the screw, get it on my bit, and I'll show you how much I use. I'll shake it, and we'll see. This one is a new needle and a new bottle, so I'm getting like bubbles at first. So I'm clearing those out and then putting just a little bit here. Getting that on the threads. You can see it's like barely anything. And maybe a touch more. That's probably plenty anyway. So you can see how much I used. Just a little bit of blue Loctite in the threads on about half of the threads. And then you go in, make sure you don't cross thread. So I always turn to the left till I hear a click. Hear that? And then I can go to the right. And then I just tighten till it feels relatively tight, perfectly centered. No play, and perfect action. This knife is good to go. You could probably flick this off the damn blade. Yeah. So I just wish it wasn't a hawkbill, just aesthetically. I think this would be a home run if they did a Warnie. But, you know, then it would be a small boy. Just kidding. But a hawkbill, dude, so good for cutting. They just suck to sharpen because they have a recurve. So it makes it very difficult. You cannot sharpen this on like a traditional system like a KME or work sharp thing. You need to sharpen it on a round stone or ceramics rods or something. And that makes it a lot more difficult for people to use. So that's why they're not more popular. I'm going to tighten this a little bit, see if I can get it a little tighter. There we go. Then now I'm going to leave it alone for at least, for me, at least 24 hours. For you, I would say be safe and do 2 days because I don't know your circumstances. Humidity, temperature, all that stuff does play some kind of part. So let it sit for 2 whole days. Don't touch it. I know it's hard. That's what she said, but it will pay off. So I really like this knife. This is definitely the winner for me of this round of the Wixco battle that I just made up. Let's check the prices. I'm going to get you out of here. Sorry for the long video, but that is what I do, folks. Here we go. Let's check out our modals. Our modals. Skort. $100. Okay. $70 with my Carta inlay. $100 with a carbon fiber inlay. Ooh, does it have like a, has like a metallic ting sound or something? Yeah, I don't know. What's the material? Shred carbon fiber inlay. So I don't know that material. It's not like fat carbon. 58 to 60, but it's 14C, which is normal. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not spending $100 on that, but I understand their price. They did inlays and stuff. So if you like it, go for it. The Axor, this one I believe, which I really like. If they did this blade shape on this knife, wouldn't that be sick, dude? If you had a smaller, thinner version of this blade on this, it'd be absolutely disgusting. $62, $62. The one we have, $62. I like that. That's a great price. And this is a great knife, guys. And then we have modals. We have the Wortex, baby. Why did it bring me back to the Axor? My fat fingers are hitting the wrong button. No. Maybe it's not available? That's the Axor. I clicked on Vortex. Maybe it's out of stock. So they're doing that. No, there it is. That was weird. $97 for this version. Yeah, no, I can't get behind these prices on some of these. I mean, you're talking about 14C and shred carbon fiber from a Chinese OEM. Like, this needs to be cheaper. You know, this one with some kind of micarta is 67. Like, that's acceptable. 97 again. I just don't understand that. Like, this carbon fiber is not that nice, in my opinion. Unless I could be wrong and it's some crazy cool US-made carbon fiber, but to me it looks like they got it overseas. And, you know, $100, man. That should be like $70. $80. $80. You know, just like the one from the first video, $80 is fine. But $100, you know, if you really like it, it's a solid knife. I mean, I like it a lot. I just think, you know. So, up to you guys what you think. But I do really like this one, the Vortex. I want to see them come out with a sheep's foot one, or just throw a drop point in it, or do whatever you want. But Hawkbill is kind of hindering it, I think. So let me know what you guys think about that. Which one's your favorite out of this batch? And out of all of the Wixcos we checked out today, which one is your favorite? I would say this one is number one. The Vortex is probably number two. And then the Axis Lock one we checked out in the first video is number three. And if I'm going off a price point, definitely this one. And then the crossbar lock one. Because $100, I just don't. Like, I kind of could justify it here. Aluminum, everything. Then an inlay cut and, you know, everything. I get it. I can see how they got to $100 on this. Still, you know, but you got to throw 154 CM on it or something if you're going to hit that, you know, $100 mark, basically. Now, you can use code LeftyEDC and save 10%, and that'll make it like $90, but still, I kind of get it here. This one, I shake my head a little bit. I need this to be $80. But that's just my opinion, and that's what we're here for, right? I really appreciate Wixco. I really did enjoy checking these out. It was fun. I like that they are all new designs to me, so I'm not looking at a model they've had for years that they're now doing this version of. Like, it's nice to have all new stuff to see. Yeah, I'll put a link down below. Use that link if you like. Use my code, and I love you guys. Appreciate you checking them out. I hope you have a fantastic day, And I will catch you later.